So we're talking about the joints of the body. And the joints of the body take longer to heal when there's an injury because the joints of the body, all of them, have very few or none of blood vessels to give them nutrition. They eat mostly from synovial fluid. Some of the joints have a little bit of veins, but just consider that most of them don't. And so those joints get nutrition just through that synovial fluid. But if the joint does not have movement, yes, it ain't eating. It's going to starve, and that is not good. The knee is a joint that so many people have an issue with. Like, why is everyone having knee issues, right? So there's a couple of reasons for that. What is a knee? A knee is really a meeting of three bones. So the end of your thigh, which is your femur, let's call it Larry. The tip of that Larry bone meets with the tibia. And on the side, the outside where the pinky toe is, there's another bone known as the fibia. Those three bones, it's really the first two, the fibia's off to the side there, form the knee joint. If those two bones don't meet at the exact spot that they're designed to, they start to cause friction. That friction gives you pain. Remember, pain is your friend telling you something's wrong. That pain creates inflammation, puts liquid in there to try to heal that bad friction, to cushion it, and then that swelling adds more pain, and it starts a downward process. How do the knee joints end up out of alignment? So let's think about this. There's your leg bone. That leg bone doesn't move on its own. In the front of your thigh, you have 4 muscles. In the back of your thigh, you have 3. On the outside of the thigh, you have 2 major bands. There's the TFI, the IT. There's a couple other stuff, but let's just go with that. And then you have those inner thigh muscles that are 5. So can you see the disbalance? People love to do squats and lunges with the illusion that they're going to be hitting their glutes. There's a itty bitty bit of glute, depending on the foot position, the foot spacing, and the deepness of the knee bend that will recruit the glute, recruit the butt muscles. Very small. So people squat themselves to oblivion and they overdevelop the front of their legs that already have 4 muscles as compared to the back that only has 3. People do cardio. It's excellent. I love cardio. People run, quad dominant. People cycle. Unless you're clipped in and know how to properly pull up, quad dominant. People swim. That will recruit more back of leg depending on what stroke you're doing. If you're doing the classic crawl, the one where you kick like this, there's a lot of hamstring. But if you do some of the frogging and some of the backstroke, it goes to other groups of the legs. So people tend to become more dominant in the front of their legs. Sitting changes the length of the quads, and it makes the strong quads shorter. So now you have this pressure on the kneecap. When you do real Pilates, we stress so much the hamstrings, the glutes, the inner thighs, because those things need a little bit more to keep the knee happy and to keep those knee joints meeting just perfectly. A lot of guys go to the gym. They don't want to work the back of their legs. Mitsuke, they don't want to. They want to work the front, teardrop, that little thing above the knee, which, yes, it's important to keep all of those things in good condition, but it's about how much you work each thing. When you do real Pilates, I make sure that you're working the complete range of muscles in the complete ratio in every class. So you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. So here is a couple of things to not do to make your knees cranky. One thing is, do not sit on your heels with your knees bent for long periods of time. No. Number 2, do not sit so that your feet are tucked in behind your knees. right? So you're sitting in a bar stool and you pull your heels back. So your heel is now behind your knee. Super bad for the knees. And if you have a chair that you sit like that for a long period of time, it's going to, down the road, start to make your knees unhappy. If you sit on an ottoman, like you're sitting on your chair and you have the ottoman and your legs are out in front of you, if the back of the knee is hanging and not supported by something for long periods of time, for me, 5 minutes, okay, that is going to put a strain on the back of the knee and a group of tendons and muscles, the popliteus, the cruciate ligament, and all of those ligaments in the back and the side of the knee that is not good for the knee. It's important that you keep your knees happy. Don't touch the front of the knee with pressure. That patella needs to be able to float. So when you're exercising, I'm always telling you, when we do cross legs, make sure that the kneecap is not being squished by the other leg in front. It's super important. So a quick little check that you can do for your knees is stand up with your feet wide and parallel, keeping your chest up. Bend your knees and see if your knees go inward. Do they go outward? Do your kneecaps, if you can look in front of a mirror, track straight up and down, or do they shimmy to the sides? Because that means something. Don't forget, you have your free assessments. You can send me the pictures and send me a little video of your knees, and I'll tell you what exercises you need to do more of to keep the knees healthy and strong.